Good morning. Welcome back to Pipeline Trading. So today I just want to touch a few things that happened last night at 9 p.m. Donald Trump addressed the nation and gave them an update on what's going on with the war. And the last scenario I believe I put out yesterday, so the third scenario, is if Donald Trump backs off on ceasefire talks or emphasizes ongoing threats or even hints that this could drag on longer, that's where things would flip and that all the gains that we gained would disappear overnight. So unfortunately, I wish I was wrong, but it looks like I was right on this. And again, I'm going to bring your attention to this chart. This is both the S&P and the Nasdaq. I'm zooming in right now so you could see. This is what it looks like. We went up, gapped up, and then all of a sudden, one leg down, touched to 200, back down, right? Now, if I drag this over here, pretty close to almost identical to what we had. And again, if you look at my last video, this is not my opinion. This is a fact. These are moving averages that the markets respect. And I didn't invent this. Now, if you look at what's playing out and go back to the other videos I said, this is still going to come down. I would assume anywhere from, so right now we had a 9.4% drop. And I would expect this to come down at least 15. Minimum would be 11 on the SPY, 11.89. Now, if you're saying, well, what is that? Why that number? First, that's a huge Fibonacci level, 0.382, 612.18. That's big. But based off of the market conditions and what's going on in the world, I expect this to either hit the 0.5, so 586, or 0.618, which is 560 on the SPY. And if you go to the Nasdaq, it's the same thing. They're almost identical charts the way they're playing out, which makes sense. So I would say the first target's going to go to 546, which is the 0.382 Fibonacci level. And then the 0.5 is a 518.92, and that's on the Nasdaq. Now, going over to Bitcoin, again, we're on the 3-day, which remember what I said, 3 massive candles brought it to the bottom. So this is not a doomsday video. This is just factual things on what have already played out in history and what this is most likely going to play out, how it's going to play out, where the targets are going to be. And we're seeing it's breaking structure again. It's breaking out of the bear flag. Now, the thing is, we had positive news. Trump just said we have 2 to 3 weeks. What's interesting about that is I said, are we going to bottom in April, May, or June? So that's where I'm expecting this to be done. And if I go to the weekly, what's interesting about the weekly on Bitcoin is you could look, basically 2 weeks we hit a bottom and then it shot back up and then we had a secondary test. But if you look from here, that was 17,629 and then we went down to 15,655. But everybody said after this that it's going to 9,000 and a lot of people waited and never even got in. This is a secondary test. So I would expect something similar to that. I expect Bitcoin to go to at least 50,000, which is 20% lower than the previous high over here. That's typically what we see. But again, we're going to wait. We're going to follow the charts. We're going to see when that thing curls back to the upside. And that's going to be on the moving averages, which is the 50-day, right? So if you go back here and you're wondering, so what does that look like? This is what it looks like, guys. Right here. You'll see once we break above the 50 and then hold it as support, which we did not, because this is a bear flag, which we broke structure, broke above the 50 and held. So right here, that after we broke this high, that the trend's different. We did a new higher low and we're off. It's that simple. The hard part is the emotions that drive us as people, the greed. Everybody wants to be right. Everybody thinks that they know something that somebody else doesn't. And I'm guilty of it too. What's interesting is if you actually just look at the history and you literally make it boring and dumb it down, look at the moving averages, write down a plan that works for you. And I promise you, if you stick to that plan and you don't let anything else outside of what you're doing influence your decision and you stick to the plan with the moving averages, there's so many different strategies out there. And everyone I know who has a different strategy, whether it's moving averages, whether it's Elliott wave, whether it's Wyckoff, whatever it is, the ones that actually have set rules and boundaries that have been doing it for quite some time, all of their strategies work. Now, I had a few conversations about Elliott wave, and I want to be clear. I don't use Elliott wave to forecast or trade in that regard. I look at Elliott wave to give me confluence, a bird's eye view. How many waves are we in? Where could it go? How much further? Because Elliott wave's tied with Fibonacci. So that's where I like it. But that's not my main way of trading. I use the moving averages. I use levels of support and resistance. That's pretty much it. My main thing that I'm watching is the formation and the moving averages. So if you go to ETH, this next leg down for a retest is where I expect the bottom to be in. So this is exciting. We're a lot closer to the bottom than we are going to new highs, which if you are sitting on the sidelines with cash, this is going to be a great buying opportunity. So remember, this is all playing out. Think of the timeline that Trump said, because when this war does calm down, when that Strait of Hormuz opens up, things are going to change and prices in oil are going to plummet. There's a lot of things that he said with oil that are true and correct. So let's see. But right now, this is looking like we're going to fulfill the structure that is meant to play out, which is a bear flag. And the markets are telling us that we're going down. So stay patient. Make sure that you're level-headed at all times. If you found this helpful and you want more videos like this just to keep you level-headed, make sure that you're trading your plan and you're not deviating from it. If you found this video helpful, subscribe, hit the bell icon to stay connected. As always, stay disciplined, trade with intention, and God bless you.